Cloud. Uh, yeah, hi. So, hi everyone. So, as I was saying, let me introduce myself to all of you because if I'm going to tell something, you should be comfortable that it is coming from somebody who has at least some experience of what is talking about. So, yeah, my name is Pramod Deshpande. I'm known pretty much in running field as Coach Pramod. I am a certified coach for endurance running and also certified coach for strength and conditioning. I happen to coach a group of people, or rather, a large group of people, or rather, let me put it this way: the largest group of structured training, which is called Jayanagar Jaguars, and I've been training for last 6-7 years for this group, and we are so far I would have coached maybe more than 7,500 people to achieve their goals in fitness or running, maybe 10K, half marathon, full marathon, ultra marathons, extreme ultra, etc., etc. Right? So I have seen this journey of thousands of runners. When I'm saying thousands, I really mean thousands of runners. From being absolute novice to doing amazing things, which I myself would not have thought in dreams that these guys will do it, and they themselves, of course, had no idea. Right. So that's my background. So whenever I'm giving you some things, I'm pretty much sure that I have some sort of knowledge around it. So let me start sharing my screen to start this presentation. Here we go. And I hope you guys can see me. And here we go. So couple of things as a part of some housekeeping rules. Uh, the idea is to make this more and more interactive. So please feel free to write your questions in chat, and I will see those questions as we go along. My suggestion to you is hold on to those questions till maybe we go halfway, so that uh, some of your questions might already would have been answered, but don't wait for the session to stop. You can ask the question anytime in the chat. Yeah, I have muted all of you. You can unmute yourself. That's a general idea. But Zoom sometimes works weird. So if something happens, we will keep on muting people. Right. So here we go. So today's our topic of discussion is running safe for me, and we are going to keep the discussion only around this topic in terms of whether running is a safe activity to do. I'm running now, I've never run, etc., etc. So is it safe for me? We're not going into a lot of technical details of running. I have no plans now for this session to cover a lot of technical aspects of running or advanced aspects of running, because our today's session relates to this, right? So when we start, let us start with understanding what we really mean by running, right? So running is the fastest mean for an animal to move on feet. That's a definition for running. That's the fastest mean for any animal, including human beings or animals. So how fastest we can move on our feet, it's called running. That is what is called running, right? So now when we walk, we are on feet, we also walk, right? So what happens in walking is at any given time, our one foot is always in contact with the ground. Yeah, that is what happens. Now think what happens. But then what is different in running? So during running, during a stride, when we take a stride, what happens is our both feet at some time, at at least at one moment, are in air. Yeah, we lose the contact of the ground. So that is a difference between running and walking. Walking, we are always in contact with ground. While in running, there are moments, fraction of a second moments where we are not touching the ground. Now, how much time we don't touch the ground depends on how good runner you are, how advanced runner you are, and things like that. Uh, so mere mortal like us, our being in airborne versus the elite athletes who are in they if you see them you feel like they're floating, so their time in air is much higher, right? So that is what is running, right? So moving on, now that we know what is running, so moving on to our topic of is running safe for you, right? So running is not safe for you. Oops. uh, there is a typo, I guess. So let me correct that typo. Running is not only safe for you, but it is the easiest activity to keep you fit and healthy. Yeah. So it's not only safe, it is definitely safe, but it is the easiest activity to keep you fit and healthy. That's running. Right now, you are going to say that this gentleman is a running coach and he's going to sell us running. So he's going to give us all of this guy saying that this is the easiest, this is the, running is great. So don't take my word. We will go back to some scientists. And if you see this figure, this is about our evolution, right? This is how we have evolved from being four-legged animal to two-legged animal. And one of the important aspect of our evolution from being on all four limbs to becoming on two limbs, and then our fantastic evolution of our brain, etc. The important thing was this: we started running, and that changed a lot of things for us in evolution. Now, again, don't take my word, of course. So there is this university scientist, Dennis Barmel, and another scientist whose name is Ulman. So these two scientists have done a lot of these are evolutionary scientists and evolutionary biologists, and they have done a lot of research on this. And this is what they have come up. Their this hypothesis is very famous. So I'm just picking Dennis one uh, something what he said is running has substantially shaped human evolution. Running has made us human, not in philosophical sense, in anatomical sense, that this is what we are. And what he thinks is running is one of the most transforming event in human history. And the idea is not to talk about evolution science, so I will keep it at that. But the point is, we have been running for 2 million or more years, right? And this is part of our evolution. When we say we lost our tail, but we learn how to run, and what is important keeps on evolving. And that is what has happened. We keep on evolving with our running abilities, and that has shaped up our entire anatomy. Yeah. So this is some scientist is saying, not some coach uh, whose main job is to make people run. So but then there are a lot of questions in your mind, and you have been hearing this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up the questions which I keep on hearing from people when I talk to them. And as I said, I have helped more than 7,500 runners, so thousands of questions I have got. So I picked up some very regular questions which I'm going to address, and then whatever is remaining, we will go on. And so this is the most important question in everybody's mind, right? And even some medical professional also endorse that running is bad for your knee. And many of us, means including myself, when I was not a runner, I thought that's That's the thing. And whenever runners come to our center for the first time, within 2 3 weeks they start wearing a kneecap or they come up with kneecap. And my first reaction to them is remove that kneecap, because that's a dogma always that running is bad for your knees. So let's start from there, right? So we just saw that we have been running for 2 million years, and whatever evolution has happened, evolution has made changes to our anatomy which are very very suited for the most important activity that used to be running. So our knee has evolved and adapted to running, right? And something which is evolved and adapted for doing something, or which is the major reason for that particular activity or that particular mechanism, will not get damaged just by doing that activity, right? Just because we are running, our knees are never going to get hurt. And we have seen, so the evolution process was for millions of years, 2 million years. Our sedentary lifestyle is not even some thousands of years, right? So the changes doesn't change that fast. It takes millions of years. So whatever is been built is available for everybody who's listening to the call. It's in our DNA to run, and knees are made for that. So they are not going to get hurt because of it. So the next thing is, uh, are there any studies? Yes, there are a lot of studies which happened, and no study has established bad effects of on the knee due to running. But there are studies which has proven without doubt that even if somebody has osteoarthritis, especially for knee, the symptoms do not increase, or there is no progression. Yeah, there is no increase in symptoms or structural progression because of running. And that's a paper available, and you can refer to that paper. But then we keep on still hearing so many complaints, right? So there are always knee pains available. And what this guy is telling, yeah, I know there are all these complaints are available. That's because all these running related pain and injuries, which we attribute to knee, are actually caused by the muscle imbalance, the weakness of muscles, but not by running itself. Running as an activity don't create that. It happens because there is some muscle imbalance. There are weaknesses, and I'm going to come to that in a bit. Right? So that what causes these pains, not running. This is because gradual increase of training load, supplementary exercises to improve strength, balance, mobility. If we do that, the chances of knee injuries are very, very less. And when I'm saying this, again, you'll see I'm boosting, but thousands I'm training, right? What is long for you is not even warm up for many. Yeah. So I train people who run 235 kilometers once they start. Now that's not even a yearly mileage, or some runners who are just doing 10 kilometers, right? So they are not getting into those knee injuries. The knees are all fine. But why I'm trying to say. So what happens is, this is our lifestyle for last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, whatever is your age. This is what we do. We have become sedentary animals. Yeah, we work sitting, we relax sitting, we are in a car sitting, we are watching entertainment is sitting. So we have lost the muscles which are required for running. Whatever is not used in human body gets lost, right? Muscle wasting starts happening. So the most important muscle which has been given to us, which has made us running animals, is our glutes. Yeah, our glutes are so important for running, and because we do this sedentary lifestyle, we are losing that. But what happens is, within 2 months or 1 month, we want to complete a 10 kilometer. Yay, I've done. And then we get into this trap and then say that, oh, the running, I have hurt my knee because of running. No, no, no. You hurt your knee because we haven't given enough time to get that whatever was naturally within us, which we have wasted as in muscle wasting over last 30 years. And we want to correct that in 1 month. If we have not used those muscles from our childhood, then maybe 10 years we have not done that, 20 years, 30 years. At least we'll have to spend those many months to do that, right? So that's what happens with the knee injuries, right? That's one first part. Now, another major concern everybody has is running will put pressure on heart. That's a major concern, and that's everywhere. That's persuasive, right? Again, I'm going to go back and trying to pull some data always, because there has to be some research which is happening. Observations is something which just inferences from observation is a wrong thing to do. We don't do that. So what the data is saying that, it's actually doesn't, it's exactly opposite of running on regular basis can significantly improve your heart health. Yeah. So what running does, and this what I have picked up is from Alfonso De Luca, and I have uh, other studies which we will refer to in a bit. So what running does, it lowers your BP, of course, your cholesterol levels. So 30 minutes of reduce, running regularly can reduce your LDL and improve your HDL type, right? Then it strengthen your heart muscle, right? Heart is like any muscle. So if you keep on working on a muscle keeps on strengthening it. It doesn't, the muscle wasting doesn't happen, and if it keeps on improving, so you will see now a lot of active senior citizens at the age of 80, 90, they are still active because they have been doing that. Their muscles are not wasting. So when muscle is active, it will keep on strengthening. So that what happens with running with heart. With putting on, so the question was, running will put pressure on my heart. So actually it minimizes your heart's workload. It feels contradicting, right? It feels like when I'm running, I'm pumping my heart, and this person is saying it minimizes load. So how much you run in a day? Maybe 1 hour, right? And the rest 23 hours of that day is where your heart is not running but carrying the effect of whatever you have got from running. So what it happens is, over the years, your lower pulse, so your resting heart rate becomes lower, right? In one pump, it's called pump when you pump, right? You can pump more blood. Your ability to inhale oxygen has improved. That's a lung related thing. That's your VO2 max has improved, right? One pump is pumping more blood. So that makes your heart's job for the rest 23 hours much easier. Yeah, that's actually minimizing your heart's workload, right? And reduces risk of your heart diseases. And this again is a study which says that runners on regular basis can reduce the risk of heart diseases from 35 to 55%. Again, a study by Alfonso De Lucia, right? Uh, but then there are some studies, and you can quote me those studies, which are having some different perspective, right? Scientists don't agree on this. So what happens is there is a athlete's enlarged heart. That's a known fact, but that's really the stronger muscles and bigger chambers who pour more blood. It's not sign of heart failure. Then there is low resting heart rate, actually, which I said, and that typically scares people away. Yeah, at the age of 60, my heart lower, my resting heart rate is sometimes even around 40, 42, right? And that scares a lot of people. But that's not arrhythmia. That's not abnormal heart rate, right? It's because my resting heart rate has come down as a healthy thing. Right? Then there are a lot of studies who have questioned that, it's extensive running is killing people. Extensive running is having a lot of these things. Yeah, there are studies out there. There was one conference where there were a lot of debate. There were 3, 4 conferences happened in US, and that lot of debate happened there. And then when they looked at it, the data what these scientists have used was not enough. The analysis, there were a lot of issues in the analysis, etc. But this study, even if we say that there is whatever they have said, if these studies are to be considered, those studies have said that till 40, you keep on 40 kilometers weekly average. There is a lot of benefits. If we keeps on going beyond that, the benefit starts waning down, but it never comes down for a non-runner. Right? So if you compare with non-runner, there always will be at a higher side. Then there are some studies about which is going on, and a lot of questions are coming up around that. And again, no conclusive evidence, because people doing longer running, years of running, and they are coming for studies, etc. The data is very, very minuscule for that for us. Right? So there are some there is fibrosis, there are calcified arteries, arrhythmias. So a lot of these things are there. I'm keeping that out already. So I've been looking through these data points also when I'm saying this. Everything is being debated, no conclusions. But all of these studies, whatever different perspective, all of them agree that till 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers a week, with that, I guarantee you, you can complete a regular half marathon. Uh, there are no risks due to running which are greater for non-runners, right? Then the last point always comes under that there are so many news about heart failures during marathons, right? News, that's media. Media is always trigger happy to say something which is bad, right? Because that's their job, right? So what is the scenario really here? The occurrences are so very, very few that no conclusion can be drawn, and there are a lot of studies going on. The percentage is so for any study, there should be statistically significant numbers to say something about that, and absolutely no chance that we have got that much data, right? So we can't attribute the causes of death for this. So I'm going to put up some data points here. So this is a study which is going on for decades, and that keeps on going. It's not stop. It's so what they found out is, if you take 1 lakh runners, only find 0.67, and this is over 10 years plus, have undergone a death in marathon, irrespective of what is the cause. That has happened. So that means for one full death, there has to be 1 lakh, almost 50,000 participants for that death. Again, I'm not talking about the reason, I'm just talking about the incidence. Now, if you see death reasons, this is recent data from US, and it is about 13,000 per 1 lakh die of simple influenza. Right? So this is this negligible. So we can't attribute to that. So another study done by Massachusetts, this program of cardio performance. So it is about cardiovascular. So they counted, that was program for over 10 years. They have been looking at it. Yeah, and we continue to do that. I have picked up from the paper which is published, and they have said that within 10 years, when millions have run, the New York Marathon alone has about 50,000 plus marathon who complete a full marathon, 42 kilometers, 50,000 plus in one marathon. You can make out. So millions they have looked at. They have counted in 10 years, 59 cardiac arrest cases. Out figured out is when the death is towards younger runners, it was because of some undiagnosed genetic heart abnormality was. Yeah, and for older participants, there were pre-existing heart conditions. This is their analysis, and as I said, it is so uh, minuscule data point that we really don't have to worry about running and causing that heart attacks. Yeah? Okay, so next area of discussion is running with, of course, you can make out about diabetes, right? I have a diabetes. Can I run? That actually running is the ideal form of exercises for you guys, right? It improves your sensitivity to insulin, and that's very important for type 2 diabetes guys. And I have trained again thousands of diabetics, and but that's my observations. I go by data what is available. So of course, I'm not saying that everything is hunky-dory. I'm not saying trying to tell you that running is a panacea and will cure you of diabetes. I'm not trying to say that. Please don't misunderstand. Yeah, but you can manage your life like any other activity. You can run as well in diabetes, and it actually helps you. Right? You will have to take some extra precautions, of course. Right? For example, if your blood sugar are lower, don't start running immediately. Have some carbohydrates, wait for some time, and then go and run. Now, I've given some figures. That is typically, you can check with your doctors for that. If it is really high before you are going to run, wait till it stabilizes, goes down, maybe miss today's run, go tomorrow, whatever way. So monitor your sugar level before you go out. There can be sudden drop of sugar level, right? So you have to carry always snacks of carbohydrates. When I'm saying snacks, one glucose biscuit is what all marathoners carry. Yeah, not even diabetics, because that can happen with anybody. Uh, your glucose tablets, whichever way, energy gels are available. Whatever is suitable to you. Of course, this will have to be worked out with your doctor, right? And you have to maintain that glucose levels. Eat periodically. All marathoners eat. Yeah, forget even the carbohydrate. Diabetics. Every marathoner actually eats after 50 minutes. Eat means they don't stop in a go to a restaurant. They carry small glucose biscuit, energy gel, uh, small bananas, those kind of things everybody carries. Yeah. Uh, then hydration. This is something very important for you than the normal runners. Normal runners, of course, hydration is a major problem. If not done properly, get into a lot of issues in injuries, etc. But for diabetics, this is something which you should be very aware of. But again, too much of hydration will have a challenge. So be aware of that. Other than that, no worries. Most important thing, carry your identification always. Emergency contact, any of your diabetic related instructions there. But again, I'm not trying to scare you. This is what I give advice to all my runners, irrespective of whether they are not diabetic. Right? Uh, and it's better idea to run with a companion who knows your situation. But as I said, thousands have been doing that. There's no problem with that. Uh, what you need to start understanding is your start understanding your body's signals. Experiencing dizziness, fainting, nausea, a loss of muscle control, stop. Again, this is the exact same thing I'll tell you as a normal runner. Yeah, if you are attempting something like 40. Yeah? Nothing to be scared of. It's just body's reaction. Once the blood sugar levels are fine, glucose fine, nothing happens. Yeah. Uh, so all of this is fine. I am giving you some generic tips, right? Doctor's advice always there. But importantly, you need to figure out where you are going to inject if you are getting your injections yourself. So, for example, if you are using it in thighs, thighs is something which is extensively used in the running, so it will trigger faster absorption, and that might lead you to hypoglycemia, right? So these technical things you have to ask doctor. I'm not doctor, so but these are precautions, right? uh, Very high sugars can happen immediately after exercise, not even marathon. Yeah. And so in such cases, there are fast acting insulins available. So all of these are to be considered with doctors' advice, of course. But there are ways to do it, and running is not going to increase any of that. Because of running, nothing negative is going to happen. That's the point. Yeah. I am not taking doctor's role away from any of this. Running with asthma, that's always a question. And I have, again, thousands of cases of asthma. I can't say with confidence with diabetes, but I can say with confidence that asthma being under control. So many cases I have, so many cases. Uh, so many. I just can't even number them. Yeah. There are doctors who have come with asthma, never done anything in their life, and now they don't use any inhaler for even if they run 80 kilometers. Yeah. So can I run? Like diabetes, running actually will help you to ease your asthma symptoms. Ease your asthma symptoms. I'm not again anyway claiming that running is a panacea for everything, but it increases your lungs capacity, right, to get more oxygen. Your lungs are getting stronger. Asthma, if lungs are stronger, you know how it's going to help, right? Uh, but you need to take some precautions. Consult your doctors, of course, because everybody's severity difference. Uh, Finalize a plan with doctor how you are going to tackle this. They might ask you to use a regular daily inhaler, or they might ask you to use the rescue inhalers, depending on your severity. Right, then what you need to understand as an asthmatic patient or as a even as a diabetic is what is body's reaction to normal exercise and symptoms of, for example, asthmatic attack. That you have to start understanding, be very cautious about that. That's about it, and then you are all set to go. Right? What triggers? You know what triggers. Being a asthmatic patient, you very well know what triggers your asthma. Avoid those situations. So exposure to pollen, exposure to pollutions, if that is triggering, avoid that. And that's about it. And general precaution: carrying a mobile phone, running with a friend, uh, especially avoid remote areas, because if severe asthma attack, there has to be some help, right? But these are generic things. There is no harm. It doesn't have any negative impact on that. And I can, if I start giving you examples, I can give you hundreds of examples. Now, running with, this is something which is going to keep on coming all the time. I have lower back pain and I have spondylitis. Yeah, this is our life, our sedentary life. These are gifts of our sedentary lives. So, spondylitis, spinal arthritis, it can be painful. I understand that. And running or exercise is really not your priority, but in long term, that is what is going to help you. Yeah, because strengthening and flexibility, mobility in spine is what really medical professionals will advise you. And any exercise, and the running is one of the exercise. Uh, so please start creating plans and start doing that. It doesn't really negatively hamper that. Uh, what is going to happen is you're going to help maintain your weight. And as spondylitis, you know how weight management is very important, right? For your joints, painful joints. So definitely it will help you positively there. Wear cushioned shoes, that reduces impact on joints. Uh, Lower back pain, guys, this is often, it's, I could say almost 100%, but I will avoid saying that. Uh, this is a gift for our sedentary life. This is because you are not running, that is happening. So start running, start exercising. This is a lifestyle related issue. So the remedy for that is shift to more active lifestyle. That's about it. There is nothing really greatly wrong in your back. I'm saying more often. And there will be, of course, cases, and the doctors will tell you that. But what is the problem is your back is weak, your core is weak because we are sitting for 14 hours a day. That is our life. And we have to strengthen that. Once you start strengthening, all of those back pains issues will go away. Use mobility exercises, flexibility exercises, and these are the complementary exercises which I started saying earlier, or running, which we do, which everybody should do. Right? But yeah, of course, I'm not trying to put all the baskets in, all the fruits in one basket. There can be some challenges, physiologically, some issues. That's where you can go and check your doctor. But most of the time, lower back pain is a lifestyle thing, right? Herniated disc, the name given to slip disc, and we think that's something very, very, there's something has happened to my vertebra, something has slipped and it's not going to come back. So it's herniated disc, right? Uh, it's going to be painful, yeah. And for not only for running, for any exercises, you are going to need a lot of planning around it, and your doctor is aware of severity, right? So you have to develop a plan with your doctor. Just because you had slip disc doesn't mean, it is the same thing for you and for your friend. Yeah, your herniation might be very, very less, and you can be back to active life very soon, versus somebody has more severe. So the strategy is, of course, always is improve strength and flexibility. Right? Start your running journey with walking and gradually mixing. So gradual progression is very important. Uh, Avoid running on hard and flat surfaces. Yeah, roads. We are lucky people. So because our roads are never flat, they're always more like a trail. So yeah, what happens if you run on a trail? Of course, the surface is not that hard, but also it's uneven, so it distributes the wear and tear of different parts of your body. So trail, and that's where I said we all are lucky. Our roads are not that straight, right? There are always ditches, ups, downs. You have to uh, uh, jump up the footpath for sometimes, come down. So yeah, it's almost like running on a trail. Apart from that, there's only thing is it's not, the surface is hard, so avoid doing that. uh, then you can continue, right? And alternate your running schedules with some cross training, stationary cycling, elliptical, and that again all runners do. As a runners, I will advise, and in my training program there are some cross training days. Yeah. Wearing cushion shoes helps, of course, and avoid temptations. Yeah. Uh, I want to do 5K. My friend did 10K. My friend did 21K. He's planning to run in Mumbai Marathon. Yeah, great. You will do that, not this year, next year. Yeah. So that's about this. Now coming to the area of, the issues which ladies face, and, PCOD, PCOS, and menopause. What happens is, I've clubbed them together, and because, these are related to hormonal changes, and the hormonal changes, it's so vast, and so the reaction to that is so varied. Yeah, that's where I've clubbed it together. So it's going to be with doctors' permission. They can't really club them, a lot of them together. But my experience with my lady runners who have been doing this, severe cases of PCOD, PCOS, etc., everything, and they are running fine. There are runners who are doing extreme ultra marathons with these conditions. Yeah, but there are some common points. Uh, Running does not negatively affect any of these. Does not negatively affect. You'll have to manage this. I'm not saying it's easy. So don't get me wrong, but there is no negative impact. Is there a positive things? Absolutely. It helps in maintaining your weight. Yeah, because in all three cases, gaining extra weight is always associated with these. So maintaining weight, it definitely helps. Another thing what it does very importantly is it manages your stress and mood swing. That's running is known for. And again, that is a common challenge. So PCOS, which has those effects of diabetes too, the type 2 diabetic, high blood pressure, etc., are associated with that. And again, running helps there. So that's about all of the physical challenges, and I'm going to take questions very soon. But these are some things which I keep on hearing, and we are at the last bit of I'm going to say. So running is for young and fit. Yeah, I have touched 40. That's a call I get from people. Yeah, actually, I follow you on social media. I see you are doing this. I actually would have liked, but I'm 40. Whoa, so what? You're too young. Yeah, but no, running is for young and fit, so we will go there. Yeah. So what do you think is common between these guys? A pregnant lady, a 104 plus old man, a heart transplant patient. I'm not referring to heart bypass and all of that. That's very common, and a lot of people are. So I'm not talking about that. I'm saying heart transplant. Your heart is transplant. Or a war veteran who has lost his leg. What is common? Any ideas? What is common with all these all runners? Yep. I think because they're all runners, that's common. So here we go. This is the pregnant lady. This gentleman, Fauja Singh, 104, now he is 106 or 8. He doesn't grow. His age doesn't actually increase. And then this is the war veteran, Major D.P. Singh. He has lost his war in Kargil, and he has established Kargil Marathon. So what is common in all of these guys? All of these patients, right? All of these cases, they are marathoners. They have completed a run which is 42.195 kilometers. So now can you say that it is for fit and healthy? It's not. It's anybody can run. These are just so very recently there was a world record set for lady runners about consecutive marathons. Marathon is 42.195. So every day you come out and you run. Yeah, that was what was set up by one lady. Any guesses how many days she was running consecutively? She was running consecutively for 131 days. That's a record for ladies. Male record is 100, so 635 or something days. That put gentlemen stopped because the sponsors stopped. So the interesting thing about this lady who holds that record is she's a cancer survivor and has lost her leg to cancer. After that, she started running. She runs like Major D.P. Singh. Yeah. So running is for young and fit? Absolutely not. Everybody can run. Tall, short, broad, whatever. Everybody can run. Our bodies are fully adapted. We have seen this. So you can start any time. So we have discussed this 2 million years of our evolution in our everybody's body. Everybody can run and can start any time at any problem you have. We discussed almost all problems. Right? Of course, extreme cases. As I said, I don't say that running is panacea for everything, but yeah, majority of cases you can always run. So here are some interesting tidbits for you. Yeah. Age is a factor. Read 2019 average participant age was 41 years. That means there are people who are more than 41 were running, right? And out of that, 48% were women. And see how many finishers? 51,000 who finished the race. There are people who would have started and stopped. Those are different. But the point is 41.8 is a very huge number. I'm not here talking about gender equality only. What I'm talking here about is men have been running for hundreds of years. Marathon as a event has been hundred of years. Women are allowed to run only some last 60 years. And that's how it has changed. So that many ladies are taking up the sport, right? That's New York. Let's come to India. So Mumbai Marathon, I picked up these statistics from Geeks on Feet. So thanks for them for doing this analysis. So who were the fastest? Of course, people between 18 and 24 were the fastest age category. The next fastest was not between 24 to 35 or 35 to 40. 40 to 44-year-old category were the second fastest. And what is the difference between 18 and 24 is 3 seconds for a marathon which runs for more than 3 hours. Just 3 seconds. So they could have been the fastest. And if you think that's something, read the next one, the women, and we are talking about all Indians here, right? So the 18 to 30, 24, the fastest group uh, of men, the women were only 3 minutes long. And 60 to 64 men age group versus women age group, 3 minutes difference, right? The point I'm trying to make here is with some statistics here is everybody can run. Don't carry this in your head, right? This is the last bit actually. I keep on getting this always, so I thought let me push it. Already put it in front. Is I will lose my muscle if I run. So this gentleman, god of endurance running, the only human being who has run 42 kilometers within 2 hours. So in Bangalore, you get into a cab and this guy starts running for a flight to catch at the airport. He would be before you standing in the queue while you are still in the cab, right? So Eliud Kipchoge is very lean gentleman, as you can see, of course, but he has all required muscles for his event. Yeah. So this is another gentleman, world champion, Justin Gatlin. As you can see, muscles, talk about muscles. He can actually win some bodybuilding competition. Yeah, he's 100-meter. Now, this is a lady. You're talking about running, losing muscles. Oh, these are your data points, right? So, what happens, right? We don't lose muscles if we use them. We lose muscles if we don't use them. It is called muscle wasting. So if you are asked to take bed rest, yeah, your muscles are wasting, right? So running, like any other exercise, is using muscles, so no chance you are going to lose the muscles. What happens? But then people are so thin, etc., etc. Right? What happens is it's possible to lose muscle by running. For that matter, any exercise, even strength training, if you keep on doing constantly, instead of gaining muscle, you might lose muscles. Why? Because when muscles, it's a metabolic activity, right? And they need calories to keep them in the shape and size. If the calories are less and not in proper proportion of protein, yeah, it's possible to lose muscles. Right? So what happens? So why running is getting this bad name is because what happens is all other activities stop earlier. This running is a very, very long distance thing. There what happens is so for any exercise, body uses fuel, which is glycogen, which is stored, which is coming from your food, stored in your body. But endurance exercises are so long, right? In that stage is what happens in latter stages is that fuel, all reserves gets depleted. So then body starts using skeletal muscle breakdown and start using that as a fuel. Is it bad? Absolutely not, because that's a mechanism. You can replenish that 100%, or actually it improves if you have enough and proper protein. That's where running gets this bad name. That's about it. People don't do that, and that's where they get bad name. But that happens for every exercise. Only thing is, it is a very, very long. If you are a marathoner, if you are 10-kilometer runner, if you are 5-kilometer runner, 21, this even doesn't need to be. Yeah, this is for 42. This is for people who are running ultra marathons, etc. Right? So if you eat enough, take proper rest, you are not going to lose your muscles. So don't worry. Huh? So we have seen what is sprinting, right? Actually, it builds muscle. So I showed you those photos of Justin and that other lady. Uh, Yeah, so Justin has such a physique that he actually can win, and not only Justin, all the sprinters, they can very well participate in bodybuilding competition, right? So running per se will not do that, right? Actually, what happens in cases of astronauts, right, who stay in the station, uh, they have a problem of losing their muscles because there is no gravity. Muscles are not being used. They lose muscles. So they tried a lot of exercises, and especially the lower body parts becomes a problematic thing because you use hand to do the work they are doing. So at least in some way they are working. So muscles are working. So the lower body muscles are not typically used, and they use a lot of forms of train exercises they tried, but constrained treadmill running is actually what helped keep their muscles intact. So running per se doesn't lose your muscle, right? So the last part, right, of my Gyanbaji is, you said great, fantastic. What is in it for me? Why should I run? Right? You said it is safe, etc., etc. So I actually covered the topic. I'm just going to use some next 5 minutes to give you about the benefits. Uh, the physiological benefits of this is, first is your brain, not stamina, not your musculoskeletal. First and most important benefit you get from running is your brain is stimulated. Yeah, and I can keep on talking about that for a long time. But the brain functions improve with running. I'm talking about physiological, not psychological. That I'm going to talk later. Physiologically, I'm saying. Yeah. Cardiovascular, of course, that's understood. Everybody thinks that running is, and yeah, stamina increases. So one part of stamina is your cardiovascular system improvement. Vascular, cardio, everybody remembers. Vascular typically is missed. So your vascular system also gets very, very effective. Respiratory system, yeah, lungs function, oxygen intake capacity improves tremendously. And then, of course, the musculoskeletal system, your muscle development, and I just explained about muscle, but your bones. This is an activity which, so your bones will always be stronger if you work against gravity, right? That's a kind of common knowledge now. And running is constantly you are trying to work against gravity, constant. You don't stop. So musculoskeletal improvements are well known in running. Yeah, then we get some, those hair crack fractures, hairline fractures, etc. Yeah, you are doing something which beyond a capacity you are trying to attempt some. Yeah, but yeah, this is what physiological benefit you will get from running. Right, that means everything, actually all systems are covered here. Apart from digestive system, almost everything is covered, right? So positive attitude. Now I'm coming to the psychological. That's where when I said brain, I said that's physiological, not psychological. Now we are coming to positive attitude. Yeah, if you complete 42 kilometers, uh, you will realize what I'm talking about. Yeah. Once you complete that, you realize what changed in your life. That's complete positive attitude. You will see a lot of runners and they change their attitudes. Perseverance, never give up attitude. Okay. Once you cross 30 kilometers, perseverance, you will realize what is perseverance. Yeah, that's where you will see a lot of corporates interested in help getting people into run. Right? Depression. It's a known, uh, kind of. I will not say, uh, treatment. That's the wrong part on my part to say that. But yeah, it's known that if you run, depression can be under control. Right. Other benefits, discipline, change in lifestyle. Yeah, very important thing. If you want to running, you will get into a discipline of because if you want to run, there is nothing you can't do it in the afternoons or in the evenings. If you really want to run, because in cities it's not possible. I'm talking about city dwellers. traffic, pollution, etc., etc. So the best time happens to be in the morning. So if you want to start running early in the morning, your nights becomes early. So there is a lot of discipline starts coming into your life, and that's a lifestyle change. Running forces complete lifestyle change. Yeah, we say a runner, somebody has become a runner, and that runner, that person declines the invitation for a Friday night party and says that no, no, tomorrow morning I will run. That's a discipline, that's a lifestyle change, right? And social interaction. And you will see running buddies are completely in different strata of life, and they are buddies. Yeah, you will see one elderly gentleman is a buddy with a young boy who will never actually would like to be with some uncles, but he's happy having sharing a Saturday breakfast with them because they have come after running. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Now is the time to question and answer. And if there are any questions, I will see. While I'm looking at the questions, this is my book called Master Your Run. If there are Kannadigas, please read this book, ನೀವು ಓಡ್ಬೋದು, and make sure that you gift it to somebody, because that's the only book in a native language of Karnataka written about running. There might be translations. Okay, and these are my handles if you want to. So now let me go to chat and see if there are already some questions there. Okay. Let's start from the top. I answered the question about recording. Yes, it is recorded. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. Which is the best time to run? Early mornings or evening? Question. So answer is undoubtedly early morning. There are hundreds of reasons, and I'm going to give some reasons to you. First and foremost, let's consider where we are. What is our environment? We are city dwellers. Find out a place where you can run in the evening, and yeah, you can go and do running in the evening. Yeah, there are some grounds where you can go and run, but ground is you are going to go in circles, and you are not going to running beyond 5 kilometers on a track needs a lot of self control. Yeah. So best way to go and run on a road, so you can cover more distance. Now that's one thing. Second thing is we are all professionals. We have our lives and we are trying to fit running into our lives. What is the time at your hand where you have control? It's only early in the morning. The moment your day starts, we keep on postponing our tasks, right? That's our busy life. We say that no, 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 I will do this tomorrow. This meeting, postpone it to tomorrow. Once day starts, everything goes away from our hand. The time just slips away. So that's another reason why you should be doing things in the morning, right? Third is from physiology perspective, you are fresh. You can do a lot of things earlier on in the day than in the evening. Yeah. So there are so many such reasons to do that. And if you want to get away from all the lifestyle diseases, which is the biggest killer in the world, is to start doing exercises early in the morning. Please understand, we are not nocturnal animals. If we would have been nocturnal animals, we could see in the dark. We can't. So our entire body is adjusted to the circadian clock, the clock which sun runs. And anything, if you start with that circadian clock, you will be benefited. So yeah, just Prabhakar, let your laziness go. Yeah, and start coming in the morning. Yeah. Okay. Running on ground or a treadmill, is it difference? There is no difference. Both are good. Uh, Depends on your situation. Yeah, if you are in a climatic conditions where there is constantly snow, where you are going to run? You are going to run on a treadmill, right? That's your environment. That's how it's going to happen. There are positive sides to both for running on the ground, and there are negative sides to both. So, yeah, there is nothing much of a difference. Uh, Suresh, this is a question about cycling can be combined. So this is a training related question. And as I said, this session is about understanding basic questions of safety, of my health, etc. But the answer is yes. Okay. So now this is a question which relates to this. If someone is overweight, then is it recommended to lose weight first and then to start running? Or running will help? Very, very important question. Yeah. As you would have seen from whatever I have been telling, running definitely will help you in managing weight. 100% absolutely. Should we wait for getting your weight down and then start running? That's always, chicken and egg situation. Yeah, it's never gonna, it is never gonna happen. Yeah, because there is always, you can start something tomorrow, right? So yeah, start running. But running doesn't mean that you should suddenly start. And I guess if you guys have seen the name of my book and my Insta handles, etc. So I will start sharing so that I can directly talk to you. Right? So coming back to your question, let me go back to your question. Overweight. So being overweight, uh, it's about how you approach running. Yeah, if you want to do a 42-kilometer race while you are overweight, that's a wrong way to get things. Yeah, get your weight under uh, control and then attempt at 42 kilometers. But that doesn't mean you should not start running. Yeah, you will start with walking, then with running, completing a 5 kilometer, completing 10 kilometers, so on and so forth, right? Gradually improving your distance. So you don't have to stop for you being overweight and coming down, not required. Uh, One of my fastest runners, who was the fastest Indian in Berlin Marathon, came to running as being overweight. He was 98. When he ran that, he was 71. He never stopped. He started with walking and he continued. Yeah, 150 kg runner person came to me, is now 80 something kgs, and he runs full marathon. So you don't have to stop to get your weight down. Yeah, but have your goals set as per your current body conditions. One of the parameter of that is your weight. Yeah, I'm not trying to body shame or saying anything about being overweight here. Your body condition. It's about sometimes it's overweight, sometimes it's a lot of more sugar. Get those. So how you attempt looking at your current body situation is my right. Okay. Ketan, we are talking about TBS anterior pain. That's a training issue. That pain is happening because of issues with training. That's overloading. That's less of your strength. So it's the answer is longer. And again, not part of this situation. You can approach me later, get into my training programs, or approach me later. I will answer that. But this is not the session to answer that. Yeah, of course, as I said, it's 101% training issue. Okay. Are there any other questions? Yeah, here's one of my runner, gentleman on the book cover. Yeah, one of my runner. His name is Sridhar. Yeah, that gentleman is currently attempting his training for something which is called Do the Dio. Do the Dio is in at Khardungla. There is a Khardungla challenge which is 72 kilometers and 2 days. So you finish that Khardungla challenge on 40 on Friday, that is 72 kilometers. On Sunday morning, you start running a marathon. It's 42 at Ladakh at that height. Yeah. So that's this gentleman. Okay. So any other questions? Anybody? Actually, I should stop recording now and I can wait for the questions. Have any other questions?